I am AI Avatar of CA Ratan Mundra. If a cross-border remittance meant for your IBU Nostro gets credited to the onshore Nostro instead, the impact is immediate. Delays, reconciliation breaks, client dissatisfaction. On 26th February 2026, the International Financial Services Centers Authority issued operational directions to eliminate this exact problem by standardizing identification and routing of SWIFT messages for IFSC banking units. This is not a cosmetic update. It is a routing control reform. IFSCA observed that non-bank regulated entities in IFSC were facing delays because remittances routed via the SWIFT network were credited to onshore Nostro accounts instead of IBU Nostro accounts. This affects liquidity cycles, trade settlements, NAV timelines for funds, margin obligations, and vendor payments. Operational misrouting becomes financial and reputational risk. The first direction requires that the name associated with the SWIFT bank identifier code must explicitly include the words GIFT IFSC banking unit. For example, XX Bank Ltd GIFT IFSC banking unit. This enhances clarity for counterparties selecting BICs during payment initiation and reduces ambiguity between onshore and IFSC identifiers. IBUs must identify messages linked to their BIC that are currently being received by the onshore India BIC. They must configure SWIFT routing rules to automatically route such messages to the correct IBU BIC for processing. This is the most system-intensive requirement and requires coordination between SWIFT administrators, IT teams, and operations. The correct IBU BIC must be widely disseminated and easily accessible. This includes websites, onboarding packs, account opening letters, payment instruction sheets, and client communications. If your payment instructions are outdated, routing risk continues. IBUs must formally advise correspondent banks and clients to use the correct IBU BIC for cross-border transactions. They must also instruct them to populate optional SWIFT fields clearly indicating that the transaction is intended for the IBU. This requires updated templates and relationship manager communication scripts. IBUs must use SWIFT broadcast facilities to disseminate their BIC details once every quarter. This begins with the quarter ending 31st March 2026 and continues for 1 year. Evidence of broadcast must be retained for compliance purposes. These directions apply immediately. New IBUs must comply from the date of commencement of operations. All IBUs must submit a compliance report to the Department of Banking Supervision by 30th June 2026. For IBUs, this reduces miscredit risk and manual reconciliation workload. It improves credit timelines for IFSC clients and enhances settlement SLAs. However, routing rules must be carefully tested to avoid duplication loops or false positives. For correspondent banks, clearer BIC identification reduces payment repairs and investigation cycles. Reconciliation becomes cleaner because the destination unit is unambiguous. Operational friction reduces across correspondent networks. Funds, fintech entities, and regulated non-bank clients benefit through faster inflows and reduced settlement uncertainty. Cut-off adherence improves for subscriptions, redemptions, and margin settlements. This strengthens trust in IBU payment rails. Operational breaks have real cost in staff time, investigations, and reputational risk. Boards should treat this as a measurable operational control uplift initiative. Key metrics should track misrouted messages, credit timelines, and exception aging. Step 1. Coordinate BIC naming update with SWIFT administration and compliance. Step 2. Perform routing diagnostics and analyze historical misrouted messages. Step 3. Implement routing rules, update client communications, calendarize quarterly broadcasts, and prepare compliance reporting documentation before 30th June 2026. Do not stop at dissemination without updating templates. Do not deploy routing without monitoring dashboards. Do not send broadcasts without retaining evidence for audits. IFSCA's directions aim to eliminate routing ambiguity between onshore and IFSC units. With proper testing, documentation, and governance oversight, this can significantly reduce operational friction in cross-border payment flows. Compliance reporting is due by 30th June 2026. Moonsys and Management Consultants LLP, a trusted partner for SEZ and IFSC excellence, a pioneer in establishing SEZ and IFSC units within GIFT City and India, delivering end-to-end IFSC setup, operational support, and handling complaints, risk management, renowned for deep expertise in regulatory approvals, capital markets, fund management, insurance, finance company, foreign university BAT, and ancillary regulations. And fintech, expertise in customs clearance for aircraft and ship procurement, leasing, GST, DSPF, IFSCA comprehensive support covering registration, reporting, and regulatory transitions, ensuring ring fencing, transparency, and global compliance standards. Join our network, scan the QR codes below to stay connected with us.